Good evening, I'm Janet MacArthur, and you're watching Live News 16, your trusted source for global politics and breaking economic stories. Tonight, we begin with a seismic move in the escalating U.S.-Canada trade conflict. In direct response to recent U.S. tariffs, Canada has slapped a 25% tariff on all American-made cars. This bold counterpunch could reshape trade, politics, and the auto industry on both sides of the border. Let's dive in.
As I told President Trump during our call last week, Canada will respond to the U.S. auto tariffs. And today I'm announcing that the Government of Canada will be responding by matching the U.S. approach, with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement. And on the non-Canadian content of CUSMA-compliant vehicles from the United States as well. Our tariffs, though, unlike the U.S. tariffs, will not affect auto parts because we know the benefits of our integrated production system. And they will also not affect vehicle content from Mexico, who is respecting the CUSMA agreement. And as well, we are developing a framework for auto producers in Canada to get relief from these counter tariffs as long as they maintain their production and investment in our country. Importantly, every single dollar raised from those counter tariffs, our counter tariffs, which could reach around $8 billion before remission, will go directly to our auto workers and the companies affected by those tariffs. And that's on top of a $2 billion fund we announced last week to build a made-in-Canada auto sector, a fund that a new Liberal government would implement should we be elected.
Just days after the U.S. government imposed fresh duties on Canadian aluminum, steel, and agricultural products, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has struck back hard. In an urgent press conference, Carney announced that all U.S. automobiles imported into Canada will now face a 25% tariff effective immediately. Calling the U.S. measures provocative and economically reckless, Carney vowed to defend Canadian industry, sovereignty, and workers. This marks the most aggressive Canadian response to a U.S. trade policy in decades. And it's not just about car prices. The decision reflects a deepening rift between Ottawa and Washington, one that could spiral into a wider trade war with global implications. This 25% tariff couldn't come at a worse time. Over $20 billion worth of U.S. vehicles are exported to Canada each year. With the new tariff, consumers in Canada could soon see massive price hikes on American cars, potentially $5,000 to $10,000 more per vehicle, according to industry estimates. But the pain doesn't stop there. U.S. automakers, including GM, Ford, and Tesla, rely heavily on cross-border supply chains. This tariff could disrupt assembly lines, raise production costs, and force layoffs on both sides of the border. Economists are already warning of broader consequences. With interest rates still high and inflation a concern, a full-blown trade war could tip North America closer to recession. Bloomberg estimates suggest this tariff could shave up to 0.5% off Canada's GDP, a significant blow. Politically, this is explosive. Prime Minister Carney is receiving bipartisan support at home for taking a strong stance, but in Washington, the move has sparked backlash from lawmakers and business groups alike. Swing states like Michigan and Ohio, hubs for U.S. auto manufacturing, are sounding the alarm. There are fears that this could cost American jobs and further destabilize key industries. Meanwhile, diplomatic pressure is building. The European Union has urged restraint, warning that economic fragmentation among allies only benefits adversaries. China and Russia, watching closely, stand to gain from any fractures between Western economies. So what's next? Both governments have left the door open to negotiations, but neither seems willing to blink first. And as Canada prepares for possible further retaliatory measures, U.S. officials are reviewing counter tariffs of their own. Tonight's developments could mark a turning point in North American trade. Will reason prevail, or are we entering a long, painful economic showdown? We'll be tracking the story closely here on Live News 16. If you found this breakdown insightful, please like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Your support means the world to us.